Hey, what is up, mortals? It is Robo Celestial here with a new video for you. Welcome to the part 9 of What If Deku Was a Saiyan Season 2. I just wanted to greet you guys by just saying, sit back and relax, you're in for a treat. So, we begin. Izuku Midoriya was finishing his class, saying goodbye to everyone and kept his cheery attitude in front of everyone. But inside, he was more nervous than ever before. He was trying to mentally prepare himself for his meeting with Sir Night-Eye. However, no matter what he did to try to calm himself down, he was sweating bullets. He walked towards the school gates and found Mirio Tagata. He could clearly see that his junior was in no way ready to meet All Might's former sidekick. Mirio walked slightly ahead of Izuku as they made their way to the agency. Hey, there's no need to worry. I'm sure he's gonna pick you. You kicked my butt in front of your entire class, so I'm sure you pass on the technical side, and you are pretty heroic from what I heard from other teachers. Mirio enthusiastically said a little too loudly as he got slight stares from the people around him. I'm not worried about meeting Sir Night-Eye. I don't have a joke for him. I've never been funny or social. What joke can I come up with in 5 minutes? Midoriya half shouted in a panic which dragged more attention. Calm down, I'm sure you'll be okay, Mirio asserted as he patted Midoriya's back. They both stopped in front of this large white building with dark green tinted windows. Mirio walked towards a keypad next to the door and managed to get the door to open. Both walked up a spiral staircase where they were met by a long corridor leading to a big wooden door. Mirio walked ahead and Midoriya followed. With each step, he did his best to keep his composure. Mirio once again tried to make sure that his junior was okay. Midoriya reassured him, walked ahead and opened the door. Sir, this is the first year I was talking about yesterday. Mirio, again with his loud voice, boomed across the room. The sight terrified Midoriya as he saw a blue girl imprisoned on a board being tickled by feathers. A tall, lanky figure stood before her and turned to the two boys. His sinister eyes met Midoriya's and he just froze. What kind of place is this? Midoriya yelped. It looks like Bubble Girl was unable to make him laugh, Mirio said, unfazed by the torture that transpired in front of him. Midoriya started to panic in his head. He lost the joke he had in his head. He then came up with a plan. Tried to copy one of his favorite All Might faces, but before he could even contort his face, Sir Night-Eye cut him off. I heard that you defeated Mirio in combat. Still doesn't determine if you're a good hero or not. Just means you're a fighter. What proves to me that you're the right choice to have you as my intern and therefore a hero. Sir Night-Eye responded with a slight touch of venom to the end of his words, keeping his intense gaze on the younger student. While this was happening, Mirio walked around the two and freed Bubble Girl from her restraints. Hey Mirio, what's with this kid? Bubble Girl asked her younger colleague. He's one of my underclassmen, and even though he hasn't come up with a joke or anything, I'm sure that Sir Night-Eye will be amused by him, Mirio said with a big smile on his face. You can ask anyone in Class 1 and my teachers. I've done more than most other people my age, and I have fought for everyone in my class when I beat Mirio. Midoriya, determination in his eyes, replied. He pulled out his phone and opened his photos. He kept scrolling until he reached what he wanted to show. He held his phone out to him. This is a letter of a kid who I managed to save while our class was attacked by the League of Villains in our training camp. I fought so hard just to get to this spot, and if you reject me, it won't mean that I'll stop being who I am or continuing to be a hero. I came here because I know I can become stronger under your agency. Midoriya expanded. Sir Night-Eye was taken aback slightly by his reply. Is that so? You want to become stronger? Hand me your form. Sir Night-Eye's intimidating aura shook Midoriya's spirit a bit, but he calmly complied. Midoriya pulled out a piece of paper from his backpack and handed it to the pro hero. As he held it out, Sir Night-Eye grabbed it as well as Midoriya's wrist. Their vision locked for a few seconds. Sir Night-Eye's eye went purple and black. Midoriya didn't know what was happening, but tried to stay poised as he didn't want to show any weaknesses. Interesting. All I need to do is stamp this and you'll be an intern at my agency, correct? Well, you'll start next week Monday on normal patrols with Mirio. If you're even a second late, I will end the internship and you'll be going back to school. You'll be missing classes for the next few weeks. If you're behind on your classes, I'll also end the internship. Do you agree with these conditions? Sir Night-Eye questioned Midoriya, seeing if he could back up his talk. Midoriya nodded, holding a stern face and squaring his shoulders to make him look more confident. Sir Night-Eye lifted his hand and stamped the form. Midoriya relaxed a little and breathed a sigh of relief. He thought there was going to be a test or a small fight. You better come up with a joke next time. There is no future in society if it doesn't have energy or humor. So if you don't come up with a joke by Monday, Sir Night-Eye spoke, which gave Midoriya shivers. A week passed and Midoriya was prepared for his first day on patrol. He wore his hero costume and walked next to Mirio. This was his first time in public, seen as an actual hero. Mirio kept telling him to keep an eye out on anything while just trying to walk and act as normal as he could. since Midoriya was caught up on multiple attacks during his time outside school. He never got the basics of patrols. Mirio told him that Sir Night-Eye and Bubble Girl were doing the real work since they were watching a specific target. Midoriya remembers back to a meeting he had with Sir. He told a joke to the pro hero to see if he was truly up to par. Sir Night-Eye chuckled for a second and returned back to his serious facade. Not bad, but needs more work, he said in all seriousness. Yes, sir, Midoriya shouted back. And stop shouting. We're in the same room. Now today you are going on patrol with Mirio here. Pay attention to this. I don't care if you forget half of what I said before, but this man. Sir holds up a picture of a man in a plague mask and a big green coat. Is very dangerous. His name is Kai Chisaki. He is the leader of a local yakuza called Shai Haseki. His quirk is known for destroying and rebuilding anything he touches. He came in contact with the League of Villains a few days ago and is likely to be linked with them. If you come in contact with this man, run away. We can't let him know that we are onto him. Mirio, make sure the kid won't do anything reckless. I trust you, Mirio, so I won't need to use my quirk. Go. As they walked ahead, some of the public noticed both Mirio and Midoriya. He was happy that he was recognized as a hero and as one of the best from the sports festival this year. They managed to check up on most of the local stores and they posed for a photo or two as well as check for any possible crimes. Halfway through a conversation where Mirio was explaining his hero name, they stumbled upon an alleyway where a small bandaged-up girl ran out of it and into Midoriya's legs. Her hair was white, which made her bright ruby eyes pop out more. She had a horn on her right temple. Midoriya crouched down to check on her since she fell after their collision. Sorry, that must have hurt, Midoriya softly spoke, moving his hand towards the girl's head. She flinched slightly, making Midoriya a little suspicious. Can you stand? Are you okay? He put his hands under her arms and tried to pick her up. He noticed that she was trembling as well as heavily bandaged and barefoot. Suddenly, a voice came from the alleyway where the girl came from. She flinched once again and Mirio took on a serious look on his face. Now, you know you can't go around causing trouble for the heroes, the man said as he stood tall. It seemed as though he was trying to tell the two heroes to back off with his smug body language. Midoriya knew who this man was. His dark green coat, his maroon and golden mask, white gloves and shoes, his kiwi-colored eyes and brownish-red hair. Kai Chisaki was in front of them and looked like he controlled the situation. I'm sorry about my daughter, Hiro. She likes playing around and keeps getting hurt. I don't know what to do with her, he said cheerily, which sent chills down Midoriya's back. He then started to plan on what he should do. Your mask and hood came off again, Mirio said, pulling Midoriya's headpiece back in position. Maybe the sizing is off, he said with a smile, like he was just saying a joke. Midoriya knew that Mirio could be analytical when he wanted, so he knew he had a poker face at that moment. We're sorry, too, for bumping into her. Midoriya then noticed that his face was very expressive and so changed his face to show indifference. He didn't want to ruin Sir Night-Eye's work with that lovely mask. You must be from the Haseki, right? You guys are famous around here, Mirio continued. Yes, don't worry about the mask. I'm sensitive to filth. It's my first time seeing you two heroes, Chisaki replied, as Mirio kept Chisaki distracted. Midoriya started to come up with plans for what to do. Mirio asked Midoriya to stand up. He held onto the girl and was about to stand, but the girl hanged onto Midoriya's costume very tightly. Don't go, she whispered to Midoriya. The air around them just got tenser as Midoriya held a hard-nosed face. What else could he do? What can he do to save the girl? Those were the only thoughts running through his head. Your daughter seems scared, Midoriya said as he tried to shake off the pressure. It's because she just got a scolding, he replied coldly. Mirio tried to signal to Midoriya that he was creating extra suspicion. Let's go, Mirio spoke loudly. Midoriya didn't reply. He instead put his hand on her head and held the girl closer to him. She wasn't letting go, and so Midoriya had no option but to continue his questioning. Her bandages don't seem like they're from playing around too much, Midoriya said. Now the girl had tears in her eyes and clung even harder to Midoriya's costume. She falls a lot, Chisaki jokingly countered. For such a small child to be trembling like this without making a sound, I don't think that's normal, Midoriya retorted. Please don't force your own normal on other people's families, Chisaki shot back as he sounded more and more on edge. Everyone has different dispositions, right? Mirio added, again signaling to Midoriya to stop his heroic nature. The air got thicker and thicker as they were in a silent standoff for a few seconds until Midoriya broke it. What are you doing to this girl? He asked. The girl was now digging her nails into Midoriya. Chisaki's aura calmed back down, almost like he was hiding it. He let out a sigh. Geez, you heroes are so sensitive to the subtle signs in people. Very well. It's embarrassing to talk about it. People are watching here, so will you come this way with me? Chisaki said as he turned and walked back towards the alleyway. Mirio and Midoriya nodded to each other. confirming that if worse comes to worse, they will fight him together and contacted Sir Nine-Eye right away. They walked behind Chisaki but kept their distance just in case. There was a slightly awkward silence until Chisaki spoke. Actually, I've been having a lot of problems with Eri. She just keeps defying me no matter what I say. Midoriya was thinking that the bandages meant that he abused her whenever she stepped out of line. Parenting? Huh, it must be hard, Mirio said, not raising the suspicion on him or Midoriya. Yes, children are hard to understand. They feel like they can and will become someone. They seriously think that Chisaki began to take his left glove off. Thank you all for sticking around and I hope that you enjoyed. Before you leave, we would just like to let you know that We the Celestials has many other channels for your entertainment and viewing purposes. All the information you'll need is right below here in the description. So feel free to check out all the other incredible projects our team creates. Secondly, on behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank everyone involved in the production of today's awesome content. Their details will be in the description below. That's all for today's video. So goodbye and have a divine day.